Welcome back. My name is John Hale, and I am a Maryland backyard beekeeper. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how do you get bees. So, assuming you've already decided you want to be part of the hobby, how do you get bees, right? There are three basic mechanisms to get bees. There are lots of other ways, but there are three basic ones that most beekeepers use. Number one is you can catch swarms, right? So you can put swarm traps out in the wild, and you can catch a wild swarm. It is free. It's fairly straightforward. The only thing is, you're not guaranteed to actually catch any bees, nor are you guaranteed when you're going to catch them or the health of the hive, the colony that you catch. But it is an option, right? Number two is you can buy package bees. So a package bee is where you get a box in the mail or from a distributor, and it's a box that contains 3 to 4 pounds of bees, and a mated queen in a separate little cage inside the box. The bees inside the box are not from that queen, right? They are just bees. And you have a mated queen, and the bees inside the box, except the queen, is their own because they don't have a queen. So you get the bees in a box with the queen, and that's it. You take those bees and the queen, and you put them in a hive body, or in a hive, and they grow into a new colony. There are pros and cons for whether you do a swarm or whether you do a package. What I chose to do is I'm buying nucleuses, or nukes as they're called in the industry. Nuke is short for nucleus. So a nuke is basically an existing colony, right? So it's in my area it happens to be 5 frames. In some areas there's 6, some areas there are 4, but in general, a nuke tends to be 5 frames. 5 frames of bees, right, in various stages of development. Everything from nurse bees, worker bees, foragers, gatherers, etc., and a mated queen that's laying eggs actively in the colony. It is a pre-done, good-to-go bee colony. And you take those frames and you just simply transfer them into your hive body at your apiary, and you're off and running. So the pros and cons of each one. So we talked about pros and cons a little bit about swarm. Pros is free. The cons are you don't know when you're going to catch them, if you're going to catch them at all, and what state they're going to be in. For a package, the pro is it's fairly cost effective. It tends to be the cheaper way to buy bees, and you can get them early in the season, and you can guarantee when you're going to get them. The con is you have no drawn comb if you're a brand new beekeeper, and so when you get those bees, the first thing they have to do is build everything. They have to draw a comb so that the queen can lay eggs. They have to draw a comb so that they can actually have a place to store food. They have to draw a comb in order to have a place to store resources. So drawing comb is a big thing for package bees. They spend a lot of effort when you first get them as far as getting that stuff ready so that the hive can continue on. The third option we talked about was a nuke. Right? The pros and cons of a nuke. The pro is it's ready to go when you get it. It's off and running. The con is cost, right? So nukes tend to cost a little bit more. They tend to be a little bit more expensive as far as the way to get started than the other options. But you get an existing hive that's ready to go. You also tend to get nukes a little bit later in the season than when packages become available. So usually packages in our area, packages are available late March, early April. Nukes tend to be available April to May. So it's a kind of you get a little bit later, you get a more established colony, but it costs a little more. So, you have to weigh your pros and cons depending upon which way you want to go. There's no right way or wrong way. Once again, like everything in beekeeping. But I decided to go with nukes for mine, and so in this episode we're going to see the process of getting a nuke and getting it ready. We're going to break this into 2 episodes, though. The next one will actually go into taking the nuke and installing it. So we'll do that in the next episode. But this one is going to be about getting the actual nuke. So stick with me. Hope you like the episode, and if you do, hit subscribe and follow along. as we do our journey through intro to beekeeping or first year beekeeping for a new beekeeper here in Maryland. So thanks, and hope you enjoy. All right, so I got the call. My bees are ready, so I'm on my way to Maryland Honey Company to pick up my nukes. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening on a Monday night. I'm going to pick them up today. I'm not going to install them today. I'm going to pick them up, take them home, and then I'm going to set them on the hive stand where they're ultimately going to end up living. But I won't transfer them into the boxes. I won't do anything with them tonight. Simply open them up. Tomorrow I'll let the foragers go out, and then I will transfer them, the frames, into their permanent hive bodies tomorrow. So today we'll just simply be picking up the nukes, bringing them home, and getting them ready for installation tomorrow. So hopefully this goes well. Thanks. Bye. All right, here we are arriving at Maryland Honey Company. So once we arrived at Maryland Honey Company, I looked around the yard there, and Jim has lots of nukes in various stages of development inside a fenced-in area. Both medium frame nukes and deep frame nukes, depending upon how big your hive bodies are. The nukes that I got actually came from an external yard, so Jim brought them in the back of his truck. There were several of us who were scheduled to come pick up nukes that day, so there were quite a few nukes in the back of his truck. But they came in brand new, unused nuke boxes that we get to keep. And they were screened in with plastic screens so that the bees couldn't get out during transport. So put them in the back of my truck and transported them home. Took them up to the top of the hill and set them on their hive stands, where I then opened them up and let the bees kind of explore the area, and then we'll transfer them to their permanent hive bodies tomorrow.